Hello viewers, welcome to our channel. In today's video, I am going to share you my Maiden FM experience. Recently, I have completed my first full marathon in Chennai marathon event. That was on January 2025, and it was completely a different and exciting experience. So, in this video, I am going to share you right from the point where I have decided to go for the full marathon, and then how the training went on, what was the structure of training, and then along with that I'll be giving you some of the important tips that I have taken care throughout the training before the race day. So this video is all about the preparation part and decision parts. So this video is not completely about the event at all. So I hope this will be helpful for any other new runners who want to go for their maiden full marathon. But before that, in case if you have not subscribed to our channel, I request you to please subscribe to our channel and support us by watching our videos and liking our videos. And now let's get into the content. Attempting a full marathon is a significant milestone in any runner's journey, and especially for a long distance runner, a full marathon is going to be a dream milestone for their lifetime. So, when can someone try to attempt for a full marathon? So, I generally stick with these three goals. I would suggest you also to look for these three rules. First one, minimum running experience. So I would suggest people to have minimum running experience of 6 months to 1 year before you attempt a full marathon. Let's say even if you go for a break for years, okay, by the time you come back, at least have 6 months of running experience before you go for full marathon. And in that 6 months of running experience, try to cover long distance mileage of up to 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers, so that you can test your endurance. That's first thing. And secondly, I would that's a recommendation, have at least 30 to 40 kilometer running mileage every week. So having decent running mileage every week also ensures that you are in touch and you are good enough to push your limits. Okay. And third important point, ensure you have your marathon event at least 4 to 6 months away from the time you take this call, because you need adequate time to prepare for your marathon. Let's say you have marathon in next 1 month, and if you don't have enough training, I would not recommend you to go for a full marathon. So ensure you take the right call based on the timelines of event as well. So generally these three rules are important. Coming back to my case, so last year I had a good running mileage. So right from the beginning, I was logging at least 100 kilometers every month, and I think by the month of August or October, I had 1000 plus kilometers mileage by that time itself. So I was always on touch, and I also ensured 90%, at least 90% I used to take my long runs every week. Okay, so every week either we do at least a half marathon or at least 17-18 kilometers. Okay, at least one run would be a long run every week. I got the chance of taking FM training along with my friends who were training for Hyderabad marathon 2024. So I got this chance of training along with them. By the time I trained along with them, I got to know my endurance. I got confidence that I can still try and go ahead for full marathon in January 2025. Now, if you feel like you are rushing, let's say you have set a target, and if you feel like you are still not into that, and if you feel like you are rushing into that, don't stress out yourself. I would suggest take a step back, relax, take your time, and then again revisit your decision. Or when it comes to running, your ideal objective should be to go for an injury free run. I'm not telling this for professionals, but at least for recreational runners like me, it's better to go for injury free run rather than just going for a risky attempt. Okay, so if you feel like you are in a injury zone, keep listening to your body, and then take a call accordingly. So this is how the decision process should be. So I hope I made it clear about the decision process. Okay, after enrolling for my full marathon, then second phase was my training phase. When it comes to training, I had a structured, well planned, structured, and dedicated training for this full marathon, and that training almost went for 3 months. Okay, so if you look at the training, have to categorize the training into two sets. One is your training runs, and other one is strength training. So both are equally important. So how we used to plan is we allocate 3 days for strength trainings and 3 days for training runs, and then remaining one day would be a rest day. So you always need one rest day at least to recover yourself and then get yourself ready for remaining 6 days. So that's how you need to plan. So don't plan anything for all 7 days, and that could actually you may end up in fatigue. So we had 6 active days, and out of 6 active days, now I will just explain you the structure of our training runs. So now coming back to training runs. So training runs were actually a really interesting part. So we had 3 days of 3 days for running, and out of those 3 days, we used to have three different types of run, and we allocated Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for runs, and alternate days would be for strengthening our yoga, and Sunday would be for taking rest. So that's how our plan was. And before explaining this training runs, I must sincerely thank to all the mentors actually who has curated the plan that we followed. So I followed a plan of sub 5, 5 hours full marathon plan, but I was at least confident enough that I could make it at 4:45 also. But finally I made it at 4:27. Okay, 4 hours 27 minutes, which was almost 30 minutes lesser than the plan that we followed. But let's get into the plan. So when it comes to training runs, every Tuesday we had hill runs. Hill training is very important when it comes to long distance running, especially for runs like marathon. Hill training is very important. So we had hills around, we have hills at 20 kilometers proximity from our place. So we used to start early morning by 4:40 or 4:30, reach the place, and then start training by 5:15, and then start back to home by morning 6:30. That used to be the Tuesday schedule. And as part of this hill training, we target to reach at least 300-meter elevation for a run of 10 kilometers or 11 kilometers. So 300 to 350-meter elevation. And when in case if we are not able to go to hills, then we prefer to go for bridges. So here we have bridges as well nearby, where even though not 300 meters of elevation, we can at least aim for 150 or 170 meters of elevation with 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes runs. So it's very important, because when you go on an uphill, you give something for your some workouts for your calf muscle, hamstring, and few other muscles also. And when you come on downhill, actually that helps you to maintain your running form. So when you come on downhill, you can actually accelerate more, but you will be coming with a controlled run. So that downhill actually gives you control, and that also helps you to work out for your muscles. This control also helps you to give workout for your muscles. So point is, both uphill and downhill are equivalent to runs are actually equivalent to giving some wonderful strength training for your muscles. So hill runs are very important when it comes to marathon. So if in case if you are planning for a full marathon, definitely look out opportunities for hill runs. Okay, either go for hills or at least for bridges, and try the elevation, try running on the elevation. Okay, that's very important. Then next type of runs were interval runs. So every Thursday we plan to have interval runs. By the time we started our plan, the interval length used to be around just 200 meters. Okay, so we start from 200 meters, and slowly as the training progresses, as the plan goes on, within a month or 5 or 6 weeks, we end up in uh, 200 meters, then 400, then 800, and then even we go for timed as well. I mean 6 minutes or so. So when we go for 6 minutes, that could actually account for something around 1.1 or 1.2 kilometers. So the intervals used to be varying based on time or based on distance. And here comes another I mean one of the enjoyable part in this interval run is the initial workout runs that we do. So we actually gel this interval runs along with the zone 2 easy runs also. So we start by morning 4:15 or 4:30, and then go for at least 10 to 11 kilometers of easy run, so which could come across, I mean 70 minutes or so. We go for 7 minutes per kilometer pace. That's for 10 to 11 kilometers. And then after finishing that, we used to start the interval runs. So interval, every Thursday we used to do interval along with the slow runs also. So you get your slow runs as well covered, and then intervals as well covered with I mean high speed. um, and I think the maximum that we have done was something around, 18 into 400 meters. So 18 times of 400 meters, and then plus 11 kilometers warm up, and then 1 kilometer cool down. So that was the maximum bit. And then again, as the race day approaches, your distance or the intensity, the interval intensity comes down gradually. So start from 200, 400, 800, and then you can even go for 6 minutes or so, and then again bring it back down to 400, 200, etc. before race day. So that's how you need to plan. So let's say you have 12 weeks of plan. Around 6th week you should be on peak of your plan, and then again from 7th week, 8th week, you can slowly taper your plan. And by the time you approach your race day, you should be in the maximum tapering zone. So that's how the plan used to be. Right. So that's it about the interval trainings. The main advantage of interval run is the improvement of your VO2 max. That's the cardiovascular fitness. So this cardiovascular fitness is very much like your lung capacity, or assume it's like a engine size, okay, of your car or a truck. So more, I mean, the more the engine size, the pulling power or the horsepower is actually huge. So once you keep working out your pace and training on interval training, that actually increases your engine size and helps you to gain maximum speed out of your runs. So that's the benefit of this interval run. So that's it about the interval runs. And next comes the long runs. So when it comes to long runs, I used to love long runs, especially 20 plus kilometers. When we go for 20 plus kilometers, I generally love long runs. That's because that's the time you see most beautiful part of the world. I mean, I mean, we don't have traffic, we don't have vehicles honking their horns, and then you get to see the early morning sunrise. Okay, you enjoy the early morning breeze or even early morning humidity also. So, but everything used to be pristine. Okay, so you get that raw nature only in the early morning time. So I especially I love long runs. So when it comes to full marathon training, long runs, we started almost around 15 kilometers. So the base would be 15 kilometers, and then try building your, try pushing your boundaries slowly from there on. 15, 18, gradually increase to 22, 24. Then I think by the peak of training, we go up to 35 kilometers, and then after 35, bring it down back to 32, 28, 25 kind of. So again, come back up to 15 kilometers or so. So that's how the plan used to be. And I had almost 4 to 5 30 plus kilometer runs as part of this preparation. So having more number of 30 plus kilometer runs actually helps you to push your limits, and also ensures you don't get yourself tired by the time you reach your 30th kilometer. So anything beyond 35 kilometer is going to be tough on the race day, but at least up to 35 kilometers, you know that you have already tried it once in your training, and you would be able to achieve that 35 kilometers at least comfortably. So that's the idea. And also when it comes to pace, normally uh, we generally reduce the pace. Initially we reduce the pace as part of the long runs, because uh, when you go for long runs, it's not wise to put all your race pace on the first few minutes, and then you should not go completely exhausted by the end. So important part of long runs is to ensure you equally allocate your energy across all the kilometers, and also you try out your hydration strategy. Pacing strategy and hydration strategy, these two are two important bits for the long runs. And for example, I'll just explain with the example. So let's say we have a plan of going for 30 kilometers. So 30 kilometers, week one we may try 30 kilometers at 6 minutes per pace, and then next week we try 32 kilometers at 6:30. So point is, we don't aim for longer distance straight away. We don't aim for longer distance with higher speed straight away, but go for higher speed, lower distance initially, and then take your pace to the longer distance also. So that's how it has to work. Pace and distance has to work hand in hand. So that's how long distance run should be approached. So don't push yourself for longer distance at a higher pace, with too much intensity right from the day one. Instead, slowly increase your endurance, increase your distance, and then take up your speed also. So that's how you need to approach the long runs. So that's how we train, and that actually helped as well. Next important thing is the hydration strategy, right? So I have covered you the different types of runs actually we have included as part of this plan. Then comes the hydration strategy. When you go for long run, it's important to take adequate hydration. At the same time, you should not overhydrate also, or you should not overhydrate yourself. Especially when you run in Chennai, humidity plays a major factor, because the road actually we used to run, that road is actually adjacent to sea area. So you have higher humidity when you run in that road. And we all we need to ensure is that we keep ourselves hydrated at regular intervals, and don't overhydrate at don't have too much water at the same time. So I will just quickly run through a few important tips that comes in my mind. One is, be it electrolyte or gel or even water, try to have a strategy for yourself, like at which point you need to take which one, okay, and at which interval. So in my race actually, I decided to take at the interval of every 6 kilometers. So after first six kilometer I took my gel, and next 6 kilometer I took some electrolytes, and and after next 6 kilometer I took another gel, okay, sorry, another electrolyte, and then gel, and then in between this I used to take a sip of water, okay, then and there I used to take a sip of water. But have this type of strategy, and plan your lap as well accordingly. So that's important. Secondly, don't try anything directly on the race day, be it gel or electrolyte or salt tablet, whatever it is. Don't try anything directly on race day. Instead, try everything on your training runs. That's important. And third important point, try to have salt in your running hydration right from the initial phase. So I did a mistake of taking salt only after 30 kilometers. So after 37 I felt rigidity in my feet. I had to slow down. I had to slow down after 37 or 38 kilometers, but still I was able to manage at 7 pace. So I was actually happy with that. But point is, try to have salt right from the beginning phase, so that you don't get you can actually keep yourself out of injury, and all the body repair works can happen at a faster pace. So that's on hydration. And then fourth important thing, uh, yeah, coming back to your bottles, or I have seen some people used to carry hydration bags, and some of them will be carrying bottles. Be it bottle or hydration bag, try out everything in your training runs, okay, get yourself familiar with all the gears that you use during training runs itself. Don't go for anything new in the race day. You might have bought a hydration bag, and you might be wanting to use that directly on the race day, but I would suggest don't go for that, because let's say if that bag doesn't fit you, and if that creates some scratch or chafing here, that could again hurt you during the run. So don't try out anything new on the race day. That's important one. And then take little carbs as well, okay. So not just electrolytes are sufficient, you may need little amount of carbs as well. So there are some gels that comes along with carbs also, so that will be helpful for you to keep yourself regenerated during your runs. But otherwise you take, little amount of carbs, like slice of bananas on the way, at regular intervals. Don't eat everything okay within first 10 kilometers, and don't go and sit on the bench, okay. That's on the hydration part. Then another important race tip, see, when it comes to full marathon, you may be taking your training for 6 months, or at least 4 to 6 months. um, by the process you may actually exhaust your shoes. You may be burning your shoes heavily, and you may be completing the life of your taking all the, you may suck all the juice out of your shoes. So by the time you go for your race, your shoes could be a dead rubber, and it may not give you any response at all. So always ensure you have enough life within your shoes for your race day. If you feel like your shoe is actually running out of life, always have a spare shoe. Switch your spare shoe for either for training or at least for the race day. So in my case, I used to have a elite version for race days, and then I used to have higher end model for training runs. So and base model as well for training runs. So for easy runs I used to use the base model. For slightly intense training runs I go for the slightly higher end model, and for race days I go for the elite model. So by this way I don't burn my shoes all the way together, and I have at least a fresh pair ready for the race day. So always ensure you have enough life within your shoe. So I think I have covered most of the tips that came to my mind. Uh, in case if I have missed anything, please drop something in the comment box also. I think so. I almost uh, undergone the process, right? I was very clear with the process. I know my trainings could actually help me. I know all the hill runs and all the interval runs that I have taken will actually help me. I know that, see, always process helps you. And to be honest, when it comes to full marathon, I really enjoyed the process more than the race itself. Uh, if you ask me, I would always I have more takeaways from the training and the process. Actually, this process has given me more discipline rather than the race data. So I would request all the runners to enjoy the process and then enjoy your race day as well. So I hope you would have found this video useful. Please subscribe to our channel and keep me motivated. Thank you so much.